In the desert dawn following the sandstorm of controversy whipped up by the Great Triple G Robbery, we were searching for grains of comfort. They were provided by the trainer of the best middleweight boxer in the world today. Not only was Abel Sanchez relieved that at least this outrageous draw left the World Middleweight Championship in possession of Gennady Golovkin, but he divined benefits for this hard-old game in the magnificence of Saturday night's fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez. This was billed as the war to drive home boxing's revolution. That objective became obscured by the uproar over the judging, but Sanchez is able to look beyond even the monstrous scoring of 118 to 110 for Canelo by Adalaide Byrd, who has worrying form in this regard. Sanchez says, "We needed this kind of fight to move us into a new era for boxing. Matchups in which the best boxers fight each other and are prepared to take risks, not only in the hope of winning but to give the fans the thrills they deserve." The world has changed for combat sport. Boxing now faces a growing challenge from the UFC, and we must claim a wider, younger audience. The public will come out for the kind of fights Gennady delivers. And although it was clear that he should have won this fight, Canelo played his part with a brave and sturdy performance of his own. The future of boxing depends on both fighters being prepared to put themselves at risk so that no matter who wins, the public get the entertainment they demand. This spectacular was the biggest pure boxing match since Floyd Mayweather vs. Manny Pacquiao more than 2 years ago. Mayweather's contrived crossover match with UFC star Conor McGregor doesn't count. Mr. Money vs. the Pacman was a dire anti-climax, and Sanchez puts that non-mega fight into context with the hope he derives from Saturday night at the T-Mobile Arena. He says, "Mayweather was a great defensive boxer, but the days of winning by caution and pot-shotting have to be over. Boxing is on the rise again, but to keep that momentum we must give the public real, action, big drama fights." Golovkin and Alvarez certainly obliged. The judges obscured that truth.Some tried to muddle the picture, claiming that although Byrd lost the plot, the other scores, a narrow win for Golovkin and a draw, were acceptable because the fight was close. It was not. Golovkin controlled most of the fight with his ring-quartering aggression, judgment of distance and precision punching, especially with the jab. Even the thousands of Mexicans in the T-Mobile Arena on their country's Independence weekend jeered both the decision and their hero's claims that he deserved to win. They know their stuff. And they are honest when it comes to boxing.Whether the same can be said of the judges is being questioned by many of those in attendance in light of a heavy and mysterious surge in the betting just before the first bell. Odds of 30 to 1 against a draw suddenly have to 15 to 1. Unheard of, since only a tiny percentage of punters usually back the draw. Coincidence, hopefully. Still the stuff of another damaging conspiracy theory in boxing. But not a reason to disparage the relentless aggression of Triple G and the gallant resistance of Canelo. This fight was in the realm of Hagler Hearns and Leonard Hagler. The efforts of the two gladiators stand untainted. The rematch is a must. Alvarez would like to bring it back into the Mexican atmosphere of Las Vegas on Cinco de Mayo weekend next spring. Golovkin, as the champion, may prefer the more widely cosmopolitan flavor of New York's Madison Square Garden, also in May. Either way, we can expect more of the pulsating same. If so, then onwards to one of the ring's memorable trilogies, no matter who wins the second installment. No one blames these two natural-born fighters for the travesty in the T-Mobile Arena. Few will begrudge them another £25, £35 million each. It is the selection and judgment of the officials which will be scrutinizing warily. Some controversy, admittedly, does fuel public interest. But too much of it risks killing the Golden Goose. Billy Joe Saunders still wears the other middleweight belt. He had been wishing that the winner of Saul Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin would want to try to add his WBO championship to the WBA, IBF, WBC and IBO titles still in Golovkin's possession, thereby establishing undisputed rather than unified supremacy over this most romantic division. The inevitable mega rematch between Triple G and Canelo has surely put paid to that. Perhaps just as well. Saunders kept his belt earlier on Saturday night in London in a tedious defense against a stupefyingly passive Willie Monroe Jr. There were no doubts about this decision, only about the wisdom of Saunders ever getting into the ring with Golovkin or Alvarez. His new trainer Dominic Ingle admitted Saunders would need a far superior performance to stand a chance against either and would much prefer another preparatory fight. Saunders was said to need a sparkling performance to merit a big fight against Golovkin or Alvarez. Somebody Billy Joe listens to should also advise him that his vile sexist, racist and homophobic insults of Monroe and his young son's punching and kicking of Monroe at the weigh-in make him a less than desirable opponent for either of two such noble and courteous warriors.